Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salud and welcome. Welcome to Tuesday, where we like to focus on whatever your thoughts are for the day. So, in other words, I am going to be interacting exclusively with the chat. You tell me what you guys want to talk about, what you're thinking about, what's on your mind, what you think I should be thinking about, whatever. That's what we're going to do. So I think in that spirit, let's start by saying hi to each one of you individually. Starting with the first person I'm seeing here, Big Al of Big Al Presents, who says, "Have a great stream, my friends. Have a lovely day, Liquid Lunchers. Rest in peace, Robert Redford." Yes, I think it's pretty obvious who our in remembrance is going to be this Sunday. I don't think that goes without saying. But I will say this. This one, I usually try to acknowledge who the first person is to tell me little bits and stuff like this. This one goes to Boomer. No other attribution. I literally saw it in my DM from him first thing this morning when I woke up, and then I got an email from Mark Malnikoff. I saw Culture Casino, mentioned it today. Netter mentioned it, but yeah, this one was first mentioned by Aged Boomer. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, Fluff Chick Productions, says, "Hail to the chat. Welcome. Good to see you here." Curtis Selby, "Lunchtime. Yes, it is. Starts out exactly the same way Mark Melnikoff always starts out, except in English. Netter, again, stops in to call me the love of her life and ask all of you to encourage the love of her life by liking, sharing, subscribing, becoming a member, leaving a comment, and gift a membership if you are feeling so generous. Yeah, my subscribers have slipped, which I'm starting to hear is not uncommon for your favorite YouTubers. The subscribe number is dwindling for most of us. So double check, make sure you're subscribed. At least I'll know the important people are here. Let's see. Bill Verzel, there is a blast from the past. So glad to see you, Bill Verzel, an old friend of ours from way back, dropping in during lunch. I appreciate that. Well, you're certainly welcome to drop in every day during lunch. I do liquid lunch every weekday at noon our time, assuming you're still in our time zone. Haven't caught up with you in a very long time. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, I do hope that each one of you does enjoy the show. Fixing to make my first ever batch of wine soon. Buddy, we need to talk. That is, you're talking my language there, my friend. Eventually we got to get you hooked up with a still so you can start doing the home gin thing like my grandpa used to. And he says, good afternoon. Thank you so much. There's my brother from another mother, Nate. Says like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. And membership gets you a month of Mondays. Monday movies. Well, except last night. Had a bit of technical difficulty there, so not quite a full month this month. I do apologize to all of my channel members. By the way, Nate sent to Netter and myself some really cool, I'm assuming it's AI art that took us and made us look all gothy for Halloween. I thought they were pretty cool. Netter, when you get a chance, check those out and let Nate know what your thoughts were. I thought they were pretty cool. Okay, let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. I have cerebrospinal fluid on my mind. Yes, well, I understand that. That is, that's a pretty natural thing, most of us do. There we go, Lester. Skeptic Tank Obsession says, almost left my laundry overnight. If not for another resident doing laundry late at night. Talk about choosing my hard something. That's where you left off. But yeah, that sucks, because if you leave your laundry overnight, you need to redo it again the next day. That is not fun. I've been there. I have been there. Many of my subscriptions are pulling the alarm. Yep. Bona beef. Yeah, since there's no more Carms. Yes, there technically is a few Carms left. They're not the same. Bona beef is the only one that I know in the Chicagoland area that's still similar to that old, Italian beef that I remember from my childhood. So there we go. Said hi to all of you all. I am so glad you're here. Please hit that like button. Apparently it doesn't mean anything to the YouTubes, but yes, Bill, I do still have the same phone number. But I still feel good about the likes because honestly, I still, from time to time, still have that troll coming around to, I haven't for a couple weeks now. So I've actually had a lot of good 100% likes on my streams lately, except for that one clip that I did talking about Charlie Kirk. I got a lot of negatives on that, but it was also the most watched video that I've had out in, I don't know, months. Hundreds and hundreds of views on that. I know that's not a lot. That's not a lot in the whole YouTubeosphere, but But I felt pretty good about that. Still want to make sure I give all attribution to the idea of that particular topic to the redheaded libertarian. She's a sharp cookie, and she deserves the credit for it. When it comes to being a member. Yep. I appreciate that. I really, really do. But yeah. Yeah, I misread this. I thought she had reversed our numbers, but that is correct when I take the time to read it. Yes, I do absolutely appreciate the memberships. Just to remind you, and I'm sure it comes up in other YouTube channels. Those ad dollars, and I'm only half joking when I'm like, oh, this one's going to get demonetized or whatever. It does happen from time to time. Some of my streams get hit with that yellow death check mark that says it's unsuitable for ad revenue because I used a no word, or they just didn't like the topic, or they were just feeling like being jerks that day. I mean, that's kind of the way the platform enforces their rules, is roll a dice. But honestly, that doesn't really change the revenue per video to any legitimate sense. It's like, oh no, not suitable for AdSense. I'm not going to get that $3 or the $3. I wish 3 cents. 12 cents, on this particular video. Woo! Whoop-de-doo! Really, it's almost all the funds that a YouTuber makes is because of, at the risk of sounding like a PBS pledge drive, because of supporters like you. It really is. And I think there's something to be said for that, right? There's, if I'm not doing a good enough job that you want to support me, then maybe I don't deserve to be supported, and I shouldn't even be doing this. We should all get together and file a class action lawsuit against YouTube for making their terms of service and the way they implement them so inconsistent and confusing. Yeah. I know there are some bigger channels that are looking into that. I'm trying to keep my feelers in there so that we can find out about that. But it takes the bigger ones to spearhead that, unfortunately. They say that we don't have a two-tiered justice system. That's not true. If you have the money and can afford to litigate, you get justice. If you don't, you don't. That's really how it works. I'm putting advertisement on your videos even when we're not monetized, which means YouTube is getting all the ad revenue for the videos. Yeah, that's the crummy thing. They're literally making money on our effort. And there's got to be something about that in business law. There's got to be, I know even contractors for comic book companies have certain rights when it comes to their work and companies making money off of it. Take care, Bill. Thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your whole family's doing well. It almost seems more profitable to just get donations via PayPal or other streams of revenue. Talk about it, Nanny State, in the interwebs. Yeah, so I do still have the PayPal link down below listed as Buy Me a Drink, just because it's on brand. I don't necessarily spend it all on alcohol. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on the week. But so that really is, if you want to give a one-time contribution, I mean, instead of a super chat or whatever, there is value in that. The upside to memberships is if I get enough memberships, theoretically I could get on the radar of YouTube for the purposes of having an advocate at YouTube. The other benefit to membership, of course, is, I can have, the specialized content for members. I don't do a lot of standalone videos, but when I do, I try to make them members first so that you get to see them first before anybody else does. I certainly have the Monday night members night at the movies, exclusive rewatches for channel members, so there's that benefit as well. I may start at some point in time. I'm not doing it a lot because I feel like Liquid Lunch, I'm a pretty accessible kind of guy, and especially every Tuesday, literally everybody who joins me on Tuesday Live has direct access to me in the chat, and in theory, I like to think I'm pretty good at keeping up on chats every other day too, so I haven't really bothered with a members only stream. But I think I might ask the members if that's something you'd really want, if you'd like to come in and do a on platform live face-to-face AMA kind of thing or whatever. Maybe I'll do that. But the other benefit of membership is it's an easy way to just support me on a monthly basis and just not think about it. It just rolls over each month. It's you can kind of just do it and forget about it, but then again, there's also a lot of non-monetary ways to support as well. This guy does it all the time. I mean, he's Mr. Share Out the Stream, share out. He makes his own little promos using AI art for the weekly shows and stuff like that. I mean, it costs him time and energy, but it doesn't cost any money to do stuff like that. So I super, super appreciate that. I have 15 videos on my old YouTube channel, and any time I go over to watch one, I have to sit through 3 commercials on my own videos, and I'm not seeing a dime of that ad revenue. This is why, like I said, I'm not too concerned if any given video gets demonetized for ad revenue, specifically because personally, I have no problem with you guys if you use an ad blocker and don't watch the adverts. I do not blame you in the slightest. At this point, you almost should. Because I don't know. I'm not going to get off on that tangent unless you really want me to. The trial is scheduled today. You don't mean the Charlie Kirk one, do you? You mean the banker guy, right? That's the one you mean, right, Samuel Procter? I'd be curious to know which one that was, because I had heard that the banker that got executed, his assassin is the trial starting today. I heard something about the murder charges being thrown out in favor of terrorist charges. I'll be looking for some legal commentary on that because I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I feel like those are 2 completely different crimes and they're not mutually exclusive. It could be considered terrorism, but murder should be a completely separate charge. A murder committed while committing a terrorist act. Those are 2 separate charges, not mutually exclusive. You cannot tell your audience to use ad blockers. That's just not going to sit well with the algorithm. I'm just saying, my friend. At this point, who cares about the algorithm? We are all being effed by the algorithm. All of us, even the biggest channels, are getting just by the algorithm. To the point that any little thing that I say on my channel, they don't even notice. There is no, other than the fact that I get to host my videos on YouTube, there is no benefit to YouTube anymore at all. They don't promote, they don't support, they don't give squat in terms of ad revenue. Zero. When you're at zero, they can't take any more away from you other than completely deplatforming you. You know, that's, you know, no, I'm not going to stifle my honesty. Otherwise, what's the point in even continuing? I'm just saying. In fact, if you want to know how to do it, reach out to me offline. I'll tell you exactly which one I use. So that you never have to worry about that stuff. Also, get off of Google Chrome. You know, use a different one. Although it's not perfect, I use Firefox. But there's another one. Can't remember if it was Culture Casino. Or maybe it was one of the guys over at Pop Culture Archivists was telling me about another web browser they found that was much better than Firefox. I'll have to look into it. So Samuel's asking about the Cosme situation. So I think you guys know that Netter and Big Al deleted scenes. What's his name? Outlaw Bill and myself, when we do our film rewatches, we use off-platform studio or whatever you want to call it, called Cosme, to host the video, so that you guys can watch the film along with us. I had problems last night using it. Well, I actually had problems hosting the Saturday night rewatch for Netter, and Big Al jumped in and hosted it, and then I wasn't able to do my members' night at the movies last night. I spent last night troubleshooting it, and I think I figured out what the problem is. Cosme doesn't work well with certain video file types. So, like, you could have an MP4 and it'll work fine. MKV does not work. So I don't use MKVs. I even, if I have an MKV file, I convert it to MP4. Well, I was trying to re-edit the film I was showing to match up with the, what do they call that? The words at the bottom, the subtitles. And I made it too high a resolution. And if the file size is too high, Cosme can't handle it. I think that was what the problem was, because Netter and I tried, and we're going to do it again tonight before Live from Sparkwood in 21, but we tried hosting Dumbland, and she was the only one in the studio to watch and see it, and it worked. So we're going to try again today and check and make sure Dumbland works, make sure Blake 7 works for those upcoming streams. But yeah, I'm just going to have to be careful about the video size and keep the video size smaller. Apparently that's the problem. I actually finally got someone to chat with me. I wasn't receiving my money for super chats and couldn't understand why. I still don't understand why, but the guy helped me through the hoops. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember, like, your first month or so until you get to a certain threshold. And even on a monthly basis, if you don't make over like $300 or something, they don't send it. I think that's something like that. Oh, gee, Nay, thank you so much. He says, you are a man of integrity, my brother. I think after this past week, if you aren't a person of integrity, you have had the bar set for what integrity looks like. Unless you're willing to give your life to get your message out, what are you even doing? Why are you even bothering? You know? I've been off of Google Chrome for 6 years. First on DuckDuckGo for a bit, but now in the past few years it's been Brave. Thank you very much, Samuel Procter. I think that's the one that whomever it was had recommended to me that I wanted to look into. So I'll have to check out Brave. And that's not the redheaded Scottish girl, right? Connie's having problems too. And yet at the same time, I'm also finding that there are some applications that I still have to use Chrome for. Certain, government sites when you have to go fill out forms and stuff like that. Or even when I'm streaming, sometimes I still have to use Chrome because Firefox doesn't integrate well with my sound system. But I use Chrome as little as possible, and I don't use Chrome for watching YouTube videos at all. At all. Oh, yeah, you said. You have to make at least 100, or you don't get any kind of pay. Okay, yeah. There's a minimum amount. They've got to make it worth it to make the bank transfer. Yeah, I understood the threshold, but I was about double that and still not receiving. Gotcha. So there you go. But speaking of the guys at Pop Culture Archivist, I have returned them to my promos, and since we're at that point, I'm going to go ahead and hit the promos, refill my drink, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Take care.
You're watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together. This week, on Live from Sparkwood and 21, we'll experience and discuss an adult animated web series about the routines of a dull-witted man named Randy who lives with his frazzled wife and squeaky-voiced child. This web series, created and voiced by David Lynch, had been called the angriest cartoon in the world. Join us for Dumbland this Tuesday night at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
On board Scorpio, Vila intercepts a transmission from Serverland to someone called Cancer, referencing Domo the Ninth and 5 subjects. At first glance, the Federation transmission seems irrelevant. Then Scorpio's crew discover that they are the 5 subjects and the targets of her contract with Cancer, an infallible, hired assassin. This Tuesday on Last Call presents Blake 7 at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things, Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, a young soprano becomes the obsession of a disfigured and murderous musical genius who lives beneath the Paris Opera House. Her voice became his passion, her love became his obsession, her refusal became his rage. Listen to the music of the night in The Phantom of the Opera. This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Lester says chromium-based, opera, productivity, Vivaldi, Edge still sucks. Chromium proper, yes, there are versions without Google integration per updated terms. I'm going to have to look into that. I didn't know that there was different versions, to be honest with you. Yeah, Edge is just absolutely terrible. It's like, of all the versions I've used, or all the browsers that I've used, Edge is just terrible. It is just absolutely terrible. Welcome, Mark. He says, Mech po! Here I are. Late but here. Servalan 2028. Yep. Yeah, Servalan does feature pretty heavily for most of the rest of the season. So definitely make sure you're there tonight. Again, I'm going to double check and make sure that my Cosme is working correctly, but she does feature very well in tonight's episode, Assassin. And let me see, I just heard a chime in my ear, so let me see if there's anything that's time sensitive that someone's reaching out to me for. Okay, cool. Netter's making promo suggestions. Let's see. And what is that? Excellent. All right. So there we go. And welcome, Mark. Glad to see you here. So what else can we talk about today? I feel like we are midway through September. We are well into the and I forget when summer officially starts and ends, but for me, this is well into back to school season, so summer is definitely over with. We are gearing into the harvest season, where you want to start decking out your house in browns and oranges and yellows, and getting ready for Halloween and Thanksgiving and other various holiday seasons. At least that's how I feel about it. Do we not hear the chimes at midnight? Yes, said General Chang. That's right. That is true. And I got a little piece of good news. It excited me today, when you're going through your emails and junk, 25 emails from Mark, junk. And then I see a notification from Hasbro Pulse. Okay, what's this? I go and I check it out, and I find out that a shipment has just left the building. So I go and I check what the shipment is, and it's finally the last Cantina-related item, so that I could get my video done and get it up. Although I haven't started filming it yet, but very much, I guess part of me was really just waiting on this, because it's not that I have to film stuff sequentially, but it is the first video that needs to be done. So, so very much looking forward to that. I think I've mentioned I am going to do a video talking about all the different Cantina-related play sets that have come out. Not all of them have come from Kenner, but Kenner/Hasbro. But I'm going to be talking about that in an upcoming video. Matanui says, hi, I'd have been here sooner if I wasn't battling gnats. I hate gnats. Gnats are probably the most annoying. Well, maybe not as annoying as mosquitoes, but they come close. Because gnats don't make noise like mosquitoes. They don't bite like mosquitoes. But they are blah. But unlike mosquitoes, I don't want gnats to go away completely because they're such an important part of our ecosystem. There are so many other creatures that rely on gnats as their primary food source. So, don't want to see them all go away. But and the season for home canning, yes, because as you are harvesting, you also have to preserve those foods through the winter. Absolutely, I agree. And Mark says, what, only 25? I'm slipping. Yeah. And I'd say about half of what I get from Mark is links to videos that I've already watched, because we follow a lot of the same YouTubers and whatnot. Bats do eat mosquitoes, so that's a plus. Well, but here's the thing. Mosquitoes are not bats, bats that eat insects would not be significantly impacted if mosquitoes suddenly disappeared tomorrow. There are plenty of other insects that they eat, including gnats. But yes, gnats are very much like globflies, a Klingon insect, except they're just much smaller. And oh, for crying out loud, yeah, gnats, little teeny tiny, and gnats are so tiny. That's part of what makes them annoying, because they get into your tear ducts and just stick to your face if you're sweating, and it's just ick. Did you know that dragonflies eat almost 20 pounds of gnats? A mosquito in their short lifetime. Yeah. Dragonflies. Netter's a big fan of dragonflies, and I have a great deal of respect for dragonflies, just like I do spiders. They are hunters, and they prey on those annoying insects that we don't care for. Gnats can be eliminated with a couple squirts of dish soap. She's talking about on plants, if they are coming around potted plants and stuff, especially. That's basically what I've been doing. Yep, exactly. Here's another thing. If you have a backyard with a lawn and you notice, especially in the morning, because the dew is kind of shimmering on the grass, that's when you'll most easily see maybe there's a little patch that's all covered in spider web. Go check that area out. You'll probably find an anthill there. Good indicator if you have a problem with ants in your yard that could be causing problems with your garden, or you don't want them getting too close to the house and you need to address that. That's how you find them. A mixture of dawn and water kills many insects. That's true. Aphids as well. But you got to be real careful in how you treat the plant with it, because it's very easy for that dish soap to cause the green leaves to go brown, which is no bueno. You don't want to do that. But yeah. I've seen these hats being advertised with a fake dragonfly attached on the antenna. Apparently it's better than bug repellent. I want to test how much better it is. That is very interesting. That is a great idea. I really like that idea. Does make me wonder, though, to what extent insects have enough ocular ability to even see, what to them would be a quarter mile away, a dragonfly flying around your head. In 1946, there was a British settlement in Africa that was overrun by mosquitoes carrying various diseases. So they captured thousands of dragonflies to release them in the settlement. Well, see, and that is a great way. You introduce a bunch of predators for the pest you're trying to control. But depending on where in Africa they were, if they could have gone to a higher elevation above the timberline, completely eliminates the problem. For a long time, people thought that elevation, because elevation correlates to malaria, right? Only at lower altitudes do you get malaria. So what they would do is they would sometimes take people affected with malaria to higher elevations to convalesce, only to find out that there was no causal relationship. It was all about the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes can't live above the timberline, and therefore they can't spread the malaria above the timberline. It had nothing to do with the actual pathogen in the body that was causing it. Welcome, PJ of Orville Nation. Always good to see you, my friend. And ussarn G, welcome. Good to see you as well. I want to go watch Starship Troopers for killing bugs. I hear ya. Hey, I'm assuming he meant Troy and friends. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. And there you go. Speaking of Orville Nation, PJ, do we have any news on a potential new season of the Orville? They keep talking about it, keep promising it, and it never seems to materialize. Groundhog Day? I see myself living in the mountains at high altitude. There you go. Groundhog Day is a great movie. They hit on something with that movie that created its own, I don't know, genre almost. This the repeated day thing. Speaking of which, Netter and I watched Happy Death Day, which I originally had no interest in. I mean, I like horror films fine, but Netter usually doesn't, and so I don't go out of my way to watch new horror films. Only to find out, just from a video about the movie, that it wasn't exactly what I thought it was, and that it was a repeating day kind of storyline. So I was like, that actually sounds really interesting. So Netter and I watched it. It was really good. And then I found out there was a sequel, and we watched that. And now we're just hopeful for the third one to be made. Apparently, there's a script out there, and it's a little bit in a little bit of development hell. So I would very, very much like to see that come to fruition. Yeah, Netter doesn't like slasher films, which, honestly, in a way, that's what I just assumed that Happy Death Day was, and it kind of is. But it's got such an interesting story. It's not just, slasher going around killing people. It's slasher going around killing people, but one of them keeps waking up the morning of the same day and reliving the same day a la Groundhog Day. So very, very interesting. And the way they integrate it with the sequel has a very, very reciprocal kind of relationship, kind of like Back to the Future 1 and 2. Really, really well done. Novel way of doing that kind of a story. When I watch Groundhog Day, I just want to watch it again and again and again. Can't put my finger on it. Yes, smartass. Although I get real sick and tired of Sonny and Cher by the end of that movie. Just, I got you, babe. Oh, God, no, please. Kind of understand why he starts trying to end it, Troy and Orville Nation, I heard an unconfirmed rumor that Orville will be a theatrical movie before season 4. Makes sense. Season 4 is coming, buddy. Yeah, that's great, PJ. I've been hearing that for how many years now? It's coming. It's coming. You know what? I've also heard that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be leaving Lucasfilm. Oh, I mean, I've been hearing that for almost a decade now, but she will be eventually. But I don't think it's a bad idea to start thinking about some of these TV shows doing movies. They should go back. Look, I've preached this up and down over and over again for years on this channel and others, that we have the entertainment industry has forgotten very tried and true marketing techniques and money management techniques. Basic stuff that they need to get back to. And I've mentioned this before. Back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, there was a lot of shows that would do a big budget, film quality, cinema quality pilot for their series. And what they would do is they would release it in theaters as a big budget film. Battlestar Galactica did that. Buck Rogers did that. And I'm sure there were others, just not thinking of it. But why is it important? Because once you have done the big budget and you have these sets and costumes and special effects done for a big movie, now as you go into the TV series, you already have those expensive sets and costumes that you will keep using. They don't come out of your season's budget. Special effects, got to be careful with them, but you have stock footage now that you can use. You could have, if you do a lot of great space battles and stuff, well, now you have footage from those battles that you can re-edit into other battles during your TV series. Now, the problem is they tended to overuse them. The worst one was V, the series. V had this high budget for its mini-series, and then so many scenes got reused and reused and reused. It's like, boy, when you see Mark Singer show up on a horse to meet with somebody, you know he's going to get chased by an alien shuttlecraft or a fighter ship, and he's going to be shooting back at it, and that ship is going to go down behind a mountain. It's just, you may as well just go to the bathroom because you know exactly what's going to happen. It's also an interesting coincidence that he also happens to be wearing exactly the same outfit when he's on that horse to meet that person, because it's got to match up with the stock footage that they have. Kathleen Kennedy, I have just shut my heart to. I don't care within reason what happens to her. Star Wars is a part of my past, not my future. Yeah, that's how I've been feeling too. World Class BSers just had a video come out today reacting to Star Wars Theory? I think it's Star Wars Theory. Talking about, he was reacting to his video talking about how Star Wars is dead. They may have different reasons for feeling that Star Wars is dead, but they basically agree that it is. And I tend to agree. And that's kind of going into what I was talking about yesterday, where I don't think I'm going to be talking about new stuff much anymore. I'll just keep reminiscing about older stuff, things to remember, something to revisit. If you are feeling nostalgic, and if you've never heard of it before or don't know about it, maybe check it out. I was so confused seeing Star Trek pilots. Who's this guy? Where's Kirk? Yeah, exactly. I still hope for some Orville of some kind. I understand that. I could live with a movie. Yeah. And if it's a truly epic story, I could see them doing a whole series of movies. They could do, if they did a series of, say, 3 movies, a trilogy, right? They could then break that up into 6 one-hour episodes and consider it a season. Put it out in cinema, make your money back, and then put it on a streaming service. That would be a good way to go. I would love to see that become the new paradigm for the streaming services. Do a series of films that then become a running series on your streaming service. In that order, not in reverse order. But the way I hear it, they're going to come out with a movie for the Orville, and season 4 will basically be Orville: The Next Generation. After all this time, that's probably the way they should go, Nate. The first couple seasons have been so... It's been a mess between different platforms and irregular release schedules because Seth is doing so many other things. It's like, it's like I tell YouTubers, you got to be consistent. If you're not going to be consistent, your thing's going to die. Any kind of new good sci-fi movie coming out regularly every month or so would be nice. Yeah, anything good would be nice on a semi-regular basis. Star Trek: The Next Generation reused footage from General Chang's ship exploding. That was disappointing. Yeah, that's right. Generations used the same Star Trek, and but that was another example that I was actually talking about. The whole reason that they did some of the things they did in the pilot episode, Encounter at Farpoint for Next Generation, they made sure that they put in a saucer separation segment so that they could film it once and they could use that footage every single time they did a saucer separation throughout the series. Because let's be honest, it made almost no sense that they did a saucer separation in that episode. If you think about the storyline, trying to get away from Q, what was the saucer separation for? There was no tactical reason for doing it. They were just doing it to do it, so they had the footage so that they could use it in episodes going forward, and it worked out pretty well. And there was a lot of beauty shots of the Enterprise that got reused over and over again. But those were usually used in establishing shots, so it didn't matter that they were stock footage. Even if you noticed, you usually didn't care. You got the gist of why they were doing it. I stopped after Solo. I am likely alone on this. No, you're not. Most of us did. I kind of liked Solo, but compared to the original, it was pretty meh. I did not even see Solo. I heard too much about it to bother. It flew in the face of all the EU they'd already established for Solo and Chewbacca that I said, screw it. This isn't my Star Wars. This is Jake Solo. And I only tried to watch The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and tried to like them. And as far as toys go, I only have bought toys that... I've bought some Mandalorian and Andor related toys, but specifically because they were, usually for troop builders that would go with my other stuff. It wasn't specifically for that. In fact, the only Andor figure that I bought was Andor, and I converted him into a Rick Duo figure from the Marvel run of Star Wars. Dark joke. We could just have one globalist network channel, nothing else allowed, and everyone would have to pass the censors at the WEF. It's not even a joke. That's just a prediction. on different platforms like Reddit and Discord. This is why I said a very unsubstantiated. Yeah, I watched and I liked the first season of Mandalorian. I didn't watch any further. And here's the other thing I'll say: the shortcomings of Book of Boba Fett were mostly because the whole story that was The Mandalorian was supposed to have been for Boba Fett. They effed it up. They completely effed it up. I skipped Solo in theaters, which is odd since I was a Disney Star Wars fan at the time. I did watch it on streaming later on. I liked it at the time until I rewatched it and haven't liked it since. That's a huge problem. That tells you even more about a show. If a film can be watched over and over again and you enjoy it, it's good. If you watch it once and it's good and you watch it again and it's not so good, it's bad. It's bad. That meant the first time you saw it, you completely turned off your brain. And we're paying too much money for movies these days for it to be that mediocre at best. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were good. Season 3 was terrible, and Boba Fett sucked balls. I think, like so many other things, Book of Boba Fett was worse because of how good it could have been. There was a lot of great potential there. There was some story elements that were really on point, but they spent too much time effing around with space Vespas and Alita knockoffs and, Native American, analogs. Just, full disclosure, I liked the first Disney Star Wars film when I watched it. Then I watched the second, hated it, and I watched Red Letter Media's critique. Now I can't stand the Disney stuff. Well, I said this at the time. I said that, what was the first one called? The Force Awakens? Yeah, Force Awakens. Force Awakens was mediocre at best. It was a film that required the next movie to amplify it. And because the next movie sucked so bad, it makes the previous one crap by association. So, yeah. And there was no saving it with the third one. I pretty much stick to the OG Lucas 3 Star Wars films. Do not care for Disney Star Wars. Have no respect for the abuse from Miss Kennedy. Yeah, I agree with you. Honestly, I thought The Mandalorian was the same quality the whole way through. Average. That's fair. I hear Boba Fett was basically a crime lord who wouldn't do crime. That's an oversimplification. They did some great character development on the character. It looked to all the world like they were going for a Michael Corleone type of story with him, but they never stuck the landing. They never got down to the brass tacks of it. Yeah, the Book of Boba Fett should have been The Sopranos of Star Wars or Breaking Bad. Like I said, they never quite got there. It really did seem like they implied what they wanted to do, but it seemed like there was too much tension of the show creators in the backdrop that didn't want to commit to it. So, there you go. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, Curtis. Force Awakens was the best of the three, but that doesn't make it good. It still sucked. It just was the best of the shit three, Yes, exactly. Meaning you hate it the least. Exactly. It's exactly right. So Godfather with no payoff. Kind of. Yeah. Or like Godfather 3, if you only got halfway through it and then had to run out to the bathroom and then didn't go back and watch the rest of it. That's kind of what the Book of Boba Fett was, in my opinion. Anyway, that I've gone a little late tonight, but I hope you guys don't mind. I especially love Tuesdays because it really is me chit-chatting with all of you guys. You guys really are the lifeblood of this channel. So yeah, that's about it. Tonight is the busy night because we got live from Sparkwood and 21. If you're joining us, brace yourself. It's going to be a weird one. Very, very weird. We're talking, you know, some old Comedy Central / Cartoon Network late night type weird stuff. So just letting you guys know about that. And of course, the next episode of Blake's 7 Assassin. And tomorrow is WTF Wednesday. There's plenty of WTFs out there that I could talk about. So we'll see which one I decide on for tomorrow. Updated some of my promos, specifically the Geeky Geezers. I was getting kind of tired of that one, so I figured I'd change it up a little bit. So something else to look forward to. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to get working on my Cantina videos. So I thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me for lunch. You guys are the best. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Salute.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.